Ram Ram Hare
Hare. Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripatvamaham vande paramanandam. Hare Krishna. Can I hold it? I can hold it. I don't hold it. Actually, it will obstruct me from walking. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'm here to talk a little bit and also know from you and have a very interactive session. So first of all, I want to know how many of you are married and have children. Can I? Okay. So the large number of you are married and have children. So I want to know how many of you have children from the age 0 to 6 years. 6 to 16 years. Yes, this is sizable. And 16 plus? 16 plus also is there. Yes, so we are covering the whole range of childhood now. So let me begin by saying, by having a small exercise with all of you. Okay, so I want all of you to close your eyes and reflect back, go back into your childhood and think of the happiest moment in your childhood. The happiest moment in your childhood with your parents. So take about 2 minutes. 2 minutes लीजिए और अपने बचपन में जाइए. Any age. आप जब छोटे थे तो आपके मम्मी पापा या माता जी पिताजी के साथ जो भी अच्छे पल बिताए आपने, the most beautiful moments, उसको याद कीजिए. अभी हम वापस आ सकते हैं हमारे प्रेजेंट में. So सभी लोग हिंदी जानते हैं? Everybody knows Hindi or English. I should talk in English. So it is. How many of you felt very nice? Yes. Now there is a question. If I ask your children the same question, how many of them will say that yes, I had a happy childhood memory? I had nice moments with my parents. Yeah. So maybe half of the hands will drop down. Maybe only half, 50% of them will stay up. So how can we become better parents? How can we provide them with address their need, right? So and give them the tools for life. Yeah? This is about parenting. So when do you become a parent? आप माता पिता कब बनते हैं? As soon as the kid is born. So I would say when the thought when the thought of a child, that we need to have a child comes in your mind, especially the deep desire in a woman, Mata, inside the Mata, that I want to become a mother, and experience the joy of motherhood. That is when the mental child is born. Okay, and it gets a physical form when it is born. So the mental child, it's called pind, manasik pind. So manasik pind or mental child is born when the mother has a deep desire to have a child. So then she requests her husband, can we have a child? Yeah. So how early now does the child's learning start? In the womb. Everybody agrees? Yeah. So it is before the womb, at the time of conception. Yeah. So the mother's role is pivotal in the learning of the child. Therefore, Mata Pratamo Guru, it is said. Why is it said Mata Pratamo Guru? Because she gives rise to something called as the samskara of the child. Okay. What is samskara now? Anybody knows what is samskara? Definition of samskara? Impressions. Good. Yeah. So it is. Is samskara good or bad? Most of us want it to be good, but it can be good or bad. Impressions are both. Yeah. So at the time of conception, yeah, 99% of the child's overall personality is defined through the samskaras. Samskaras are some total of impressions on the soul, okay, on the chitta of the soul. What is chitta now? It can be loosely translated as the subconscious in English, but it really does not have a translation. So chitta is the sum total of the mana, the uh, the mana and the ego. Yeah. So the mana, the buddhi, and the ahankara. These form the chitta. Okay. And the chitta stores all memories. Yeah. All of the memories are stored in chitta. So at the time of conception, what happens is, now I'll keep down the mic. Here is Atma, Atma, okay? So we are inviting a soul. We are inviting a soul to come into our family. So the Atma is getting attracted, and the chitta belongs to that Atma. Yeah. So soul is, what is soul? Soul's qualities. Satchitananda. Sat is eternal, right? Chit is knowledge, fully knowledgeable. And thank you. And Ananda, bliss. Yeah. So this is what essentially we are. Who is the Atma? We are, right? So, but right now, am I feeling 100% bliss or 100% knowledge? No. Why is that so? Because there are so many layers formed on top of the Atma. Atma is covered right now, right? So at the time of conception, the chitta has the layers of all impressions from the past life, all the karmic impressions of the past life, right? And the samskaras from the mother's side and the samskaras from the father's side. Okay, these are the samskaras. Samskaras from the mother's side are 5 generations of samskaras. And from the father's side, it is 14 generations of samskaras. Yeah? So, which means that the good thing is that all is not lost, right? So you may think that we are in Kali Yuga. How do we revive what is ours? Fast forgetting culture. Which one? Okay. So how do I? So when at the time of conception, the chitta brings together all the past life impressions, all the impressions, some total of impressions, and the karma. Karma now is what? Some positive karma, negative karma, minus. So it equates, and then the remaining karma, which is in form of prarabdha. You understand prarabdha? Prarabdha is the bija, is the seed. Okay, in the seed form, the unfructified karma. Unfructified means the thing, the karma which is not yet ripened. Okay. So all of that sanchita karma, that sancha is the chila or the bag, it comes and gets attached to this atma. Okay. Now, how can we call in? The only good thing is that we can call in a nice soul, right? With this layer, whose this layer is nice. Yeah, it can be bad karma, right? Bad karma, extremely bad kind of samskaras. But when we call in a soul with nice qualities, nice samskaras, then we attract that kind of a soul. Yeah. How is that possible? How is that possible? Can we? Yeah, Garbhadam Sanskar. Right? So, of course, when the husband and wife get together, come together, and have union, there is a lot of pleasure in that. Yeah. Bhagavan has put that pleasure in. Otherwise, nobody will have children. Right? So, the pleasure part is there, but it cannot be, in Grahastha life, it cannot be merely for pleasure. Right? Otherwise, we will have to bear the fruit of our karma. Right? So, our Purvajas, they were extremely sensible people. Yeah? They constructed the entire Grahastha ashrama. They gave us the Grahastha dharma. Yeah? Why? So that we can refine our lifestyle. We can refine our lifestyle. We can produce progeny, which is, like Prabhupada said, my disciples are first class gentlemen, gentlewomen. Yeah? Nothing less. So we must produce first class. If we have to produce first class children, we cannot behave second class. Right? Our behavior has to be more than first class. So therefore, it has to be prayerful offering to the Lord. Yeah? When we are in a prayerful mood, just like if we look inside the scriptures, we have Aditi. Yeah? Aditi, the wife of Kashyapa Muni, she did Payovrata. Before she begot whom? Adityas. The 12 Adityas were born to Aditi. So before they were born, she did 1 year of Payovrata. So Payovrata is a very difficult vrata. So accepting very minimal milk every day and doing all the anushtanas, yeah, throughout the day, taking bath so many times, purificatory rites, so many things, yeah, and prarthana, sadhana. So getting up very early in the morning and then till late night eating nothing but taking in the holy names. So this Payovrata she did, and then as a result she got 12 brilliant gems, 12 Adityas. One of them is Aryama. Aryama is the founder of our race, Aryan race. The Manushya Jati comes from him. Kashyapa had 27 other wives from whom all the Jatis came. Yeah, the Manushya Jati came from Aryama. So we have not come from monkeys, right? We have come from Adityas. Our Purvajas were Rishis. Yeah, we are from Rishi Kula. So, therefore, if somebody tells you that Darwin has given us this theory, then we can confidently say no. You can study the chart of Brahma, Brahma's Manasaputras, 10 Manasaputras. Out of that, one of them was Kashapuni. And how did Kashyapa then populate this world? They were all Prajapatis. Prajapatis means they populate the Brahmanda. They were created for this purpose. So, therefore, we do it in a very prayerful mood. Then, if you say, if somebody questions you, what is the validation? How are you so sure that whatever is my prayer, I will get such a child? How do you prove it? Then we look at recent history. Are there some examples there? Are there some examples? Prahalad. No, recent history. This is the Vedic times that you're talking about. Alvaita Acharya has prayed, done, Ganga Puja for so many years he did, Alvaita Acharya. Then recently we have Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was also, Prabhupada was also born like that. Yeah. So any non-ISKCON examples? Okay. So So when we look at history, there is Mother Jijabai who wanted a brave son. So everybody understands this example, right? So then she wanted a son with particular qualities and somebody who will banish the Mughals out of Bharata. And he has to be courageous, bold, has to have leadership qualities, right? So she prayed, she did vrata, she did upavas, she did tapasya, and then she got Shivaji Maharaj. Right? So this is an example in the recent history, right? So like this, we have examples even now. Even now it is possible. Like Mataris took the name of this young child, right? So it is science. Garbhadan Sanskar, all the sanskaras are scientific. So, what is the science behind it? That the deep desires, the deepest prayers of the mother will take shape of the child. So, it takes shape. First, it is born in the mind, then it is transferred to the womb, and then it takes birth. So, therefore, Garbhadan Sanskar is the most important stage of learning of the child. So, how the child will deal with his life, how the child will deal with his parents, with his society, is all determined during the time of conception. So, therefore, that is the single most important first step in learning of the child, which is the second step. So, throughout the pregnancy, therefore, the mother is supposed to be kept happy, right? And she needs to have happy experiences so that the child, why should she be happy? You've all heard about that. This mother has to be happy. Yeah? Why should a Garbhini Stree be happy? Yes. So, it is also scientific. Hormones are triggered. Yeah? Every hormones are chemical messengers which go and activate something. Yeah? Activate growth, it activates talking, it activates thinking. So, hormonal activity is stimulated. Yeah? So, therefore, there has to be the right stimulation, positive stimulation for positive hormones to come about. Okay, so, it is as simple as that. This is dropping off.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take the hand mic. I'll do less actions. So, the child, when the child is in the womb, This is the second most important phase of learning for the child. What, what is the child learning? Now I have to do some action. So the child is learning something. What is the child learning? Yes, everything that the child is able to hear is becoming its samskara. Okay. Why is it becoming its samskara? Why? Because the consciousness is developing. Yeah. So there are no layers on top of the chitta. Remember, I told you the Atma has come and got attached to the chitta at the time of conception. And samskaras are everything that falls on the chitta. That is samskara. Good, bad, ugly, everything. Okay? So you understood what is samskara? Samskara is that impression that directly falls on the chitta. So right now in the womb, there is the Atma, the chitta, and slowly the physical body is, there is a physical covering that is coming about, but Atma and chitta are the only two fully developed things, right? Inside the body of the child. So even when, what are the layers that form on top of the chitta? Do you know? So there are the pancha karmendriyas. Is it active in the womb? No. Pancha jnanendriyas, not yet active. Man, buddhi, ahankar, not yet developed at all. Right? So therefore there is atma and chitta. So a pregnant lady, whatever she hears, however she behaves, whatever is her mental makeup, is all affecting the child in the womb. So far, are we scientific? Yes. Yeah. So then, which is the third phase of learning? So at the time of birth, is the third phase of learning. Therefore, okay, I missed few things. One is to keep the lady happy. There is the Simanta ceremony. Yeah. So you all have had the Simanta for yourself. How happy you were, right? Because you are in the center of attraction. Everybody is doing something to you, giving you gifts, showering you with so much love, affection, yeah, taking care of you, and making you foodstuffs which you like, right? So Simantone is a samskara which wherein the husband parts the midline, yeah, because it has a direct connection to the intellect of the child. Okay, so the intellect of the child is developed or nourished through this samskara. And before that, there is the samskara which happens in the third month. Anybody knows? Pumsavan. Yeah, Pumsavan also. So, I'm sorry. Pumsavan happens in the third month. Yeah, I'm right. So, Pumsavan happens in the third month of pregnancy, and which is essentially fire sacrifice, which is meant to beget a boy child, a male progeny. So, therefore, it is a very scientific method wherein a boy child, typically in the olden times, there was the need of a male progeny because everything was family centered. Yeah. So the boy would do many other samskaras in the family, right? So many other rituals. So therefore, Pumsavan was a ceremony, was a samskara. And after Pumsavan, then there is Simantonal. So why are all these samskaras there? To give a very, to purify the child, yeah, to purify the impressions of the child, to give it the rightful samskaras. Imagine there is the yajna happening, and for the child's sake. So all the direct benefits are going to the child. Yeah. So Pumsavan is a fire sacrifice. and then Simantulayan. Then the second phase of learning I told you is the birth of the child. Why is it the most important second step of learning? Contact with the material world. Yeah, so far it was protected inside the womb of the mother. Yeah. So now it will come in direct contact with the material world. So therefore, at the time of birth, the father recites from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, or any other scriptures. And then there is the ghee and the honey, a mixture of ghee and honey, which is kept there, and all the sound waves have got transferred into it. The positive sound vibrations from the recitation of Bhagavad Gita have gone inside the ghee, and the first thing, so the senses are exposed to the material world. So the senses need to get a taste, a higher taste of the Lord. Therefore, the father, as soon as the child is born, in the right year, the father tells the mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, or the family's, whatever is the family tradition, God's name. And then the honey and ghee mixture is given on the tongue. And Krishna's photo is shown to the child. Radha Krishna's photo or Vigraha, Archa Vigraha is shown to the child so that all the senses get the experience of the Lord. And the child does not forget it. It becomes a samskara. Yeah, this is therefore the most important Jatakarana samskara. Jatakarana. Then after the child is born, the little baby captivates our mind, right? So it is so lovable. It is so lovable. Why is the child so lovable? Yes, because the child fully independent. No, yeah, though it is born inside this world, it is completely dependent. So that we care for it, so that we give it, shower our love on it. Hmm? So the principle of parenting begins from here. Yeah, the physical parenting principles begin from here, and Acharya Chanakya has given us the tattva in the sutra. I mean, so lalaye panchavarshani, dashavarshani tadaye, prapte shodashe varshe, putram mitre samachare. What does this mean? This is a sutra of parenting. So if you know this sutra, understand it and apply it, then you are a good parent. Okay. So Lalaye Panchavarshani. What do you mean by that? Up till 5 years, you have to pamper the child. You have to shower your love, your attention. Tu Raja beta hai. Tu meri Rani hai. Right? So, and why do we do this? Why do we do this? Because I told you, hormones are about stimulation, right? So when happiness is triggered in the child, you see generally the child is happy, right? So when happiness is triggered, then positive development growth happens. So by the age 2, the child has grown 4 times its weight. So therefore, a lot of growth is happening. Right now, are we growing? No, not much growth. Except wide growth. Yes. So wider and extra wide growth is happening, but not much growth. Yeah. If we became 4 times our weight today, then it is crisis. So therefore, the child has grown 4 times its body weight by the year 2. Therefore, lot of growth is happening. Lot of hormones are triggering. Growth hormone is triggering, and to ensure proper growth, we need to shower it with love. Yeah? And a child has not yet developed its complete emotions, right? So, but when we give it, why should we give it love then? It is not reciprocating with us, right? It cannot say, I love you, mommy, I love you, papa, nothing. But we still love the child. Why?
Confidence.
It's not. How many of you have a 14, 15, 16-year-old child? They are also dependent on you.
Not that we don't have any expectations.
No expectations. Why don't you have expectations from?
Intelligence is not.
Intelligence is not there. Okay. Anything else? Yes. Basically, the mana, buddhi, and ahankara is not yet there. Yeah. So it is. You know that it is completely dependent on you. All of you are right. You know that it is completely dependent on you. It does not have an opinion of its own, right? So it is very easy to manage that child. Does not tell you, I will do it my way. Yeah. So therefore, it's much easier to manage that child. And then there is the prakriti. Yeah, the child's prakriti is to be very cute and very attractive. Therefore, our heart goes to it. And then our mamata, as a mother, our mamata is triggered. It said that when the child cries, the milk overflows in the breasts, and then the mother wants to feed the child. Yeah. So we all would have experienced all these aspects in our own lives. So therefore, mamata. Why has God given this aspect of mamata to the mother only? Hmm? Father cannot show mamata, right? Yes. Yeah, because of the emotional makeup of the woman. Yeah, the feminine energy is only able to give this aspect of mamata to the child. To know what exactly the child needs, to be sensitive to its needs. The father is not able to do that. Yeah, the male energy is meant for something else, to provide security for the child, for example. Yeah, that the father is able to do. The mother is able to give mamata. Therefore, our role is defined by prakriti, yeah, not by the corporate world. Right? The corporate world has different expectations from us. So Prakriti is unchangeable. Is it changeable? Today's woke people say that it's changeable. So, but it's not changeable. Prakriti niyama cannot be changed. How many of you feel it can be changed? No, right? Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. There are 4 seasons. Every day sun rises. If sun did not rise, if sun said, now I've become woke, I will, I am an individual. I will do whatever I want. What will happen? Doomsday, right? So no sun, no life. Sun is the only source of energy. Only source of energy in this entire Brahmanda. Even if this fan is running here, then it is because of the sun's energy. Yeah, so therefore, mamata is synonymous with mamata. And Prabhupada says that the only relationship that is pure in nature, which signifies, a small portion of love for God on this earth, on this material earth, is the bond between the mother and the child, the newborn child. So that is pure in nature. It is natural. It's a natural outpouring from the mother's heart. So therefore, the mother is given these feelings by Prakriti so that the child is taken care of. So what are the sacrifices mothers do? Too many, right? So lack of sleep, and not taking care of yourself. You may not have looked into the mirror for so many days together. I remember when I had a baby, I don't know when I had combed my hair last. Right? So you forget many things about yourself. You are so much into the feeding, the sleeping routines of the child, you forget yourselves. So that is the mother, that makes the mother. And therefore the child becomes Chira Runi. Therefore there is the Runa. The Bodha of Runa is very strong in our culture. Runa is rid in Hindi, rid. Yeah, debt. So the child becomes indebted to the parents because of the sacrifices the parents have done. So like Devrid, Pitrarid, all this, then there is the Rina of the parents. Yeah. So then the child is growing. Right now, you look at the Annamaya Kosha. There is on the stage, you may have watched some plays, there is the spotlight, right? The spotlight is on Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha is the physical body. Okay? So the physical body of the child is in spotlight, whereas Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya Koshas are getting developed, in small parts. But Annamaya is completely in focus. So it is taken center stage. So Annamaya means physical development of the child is happening. The internal organs are developing. So the gut is not yet fully formed. The eyesight is not fully developed. The child can it walk? No. Can it talk? No. Nothing is developed. So it is rapidly developing. So in this stage, the child sleeps for 20 hours, right? 20 to 22 hours. It wakes up only to take feed and do susu potty and then again back to sleep, right? So after about 6 months, there is another samskara that happens. This is annaprasna. Solid food from outside can be taken. So we prepare kheer, offer it to the Lord, and then we do a small fire sacrifice, and the mama feeds the child this kheer. And from here onward, solid food can be given because the growth now is much more of the child. So the principle of Lalayat Panchavarshani is very easily applicable when the child has not yet started talking, right? So when the developmental milestones 0 to 1 year, what all development happens? The child starts crawling, and then slowly the child starts standing and walking with support, right? So first year milestone is walking. Second year milestone is talking. Third year milestone is running. Yeah, like this. Walk, talk, run. And fourth year milestone is okay. By this time, the child starts telling, I am, right? So earlier, the child was talking in monosyllables, very cute words, and then it started talking small phrases, and then sentences from 50 words to 100 words to 500 words to 1000 words, vocabulary developed. Then it started questioning. Fourth year onwards, irritating means it will question. Why is sun round? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Right? I will also do. Give it to me. So the principle here in the first 5 years, there are two principles that should be taken care of. Yeah, at most. One is natural curiosity, jigyasa, and second is swaprerana. Okay, so the child antaprerana is called. So antaprerana and jigyasa are the two tools that it has to understand the world around it. Okay, so you see that the small child puts everything in its mouth. It wants to know what is this? Not the taste. What is it? What is this thing? So therefore, antaprerana. And we must not become obstacles in their path of growth, in their natural path of curiosity. They want to explore. The first 5 years, they want to explore. So what do? We say, don't climb there, you will fall, don't do this, don't do that. We fill the child's world with don'ts. No doing this, no doing that. Is that okay? No. Yeah. We come in the path of its natural curiosity. So what happens when we give too many no's to a child of this age?
They start opposing.
No, they start withdrawing. Yeah, we create a permanent damage in their emotional realm. They do not know how to regulate their emotions thereafter. Okay? Regulate their emotions means they'll start screaming, they'll start banging, they'll start doing all kinds of things because they don't know how to express what they are feeling. Yeah? Step into the child's shoes, and child is an individual, right? So for 1 hour, you step into the shoes of a child. I'm not even saying one day, and then you imagine what all you tell the child. Huh? Imagine yourself. No going here. Don't do this. Wash your hand. Wash your feet. Instructions. So many instructions. Will you be able to take it? No. Right? Can we take one instruction from one person? Is the question. So, so therefore, this is the time why Lalayat is there. It is a time of investment. So you all understand about an account, in bank account, right? You understand. Everybody knows bank accounts, right? So when you put money there, it is safe. You get interest. It grows, and only if you put money you can withdraw, right? If you don't put money, can you withdraw? No. So 0 to 6 is the investment phase. No and instructions are already withdrawals. Yeah, 0 to 6 years. So what happens when the withdrawal is there? Withdrawal without investment, bank will say close your account. Yeah, you are bad account. So you close it. So therefore, there is some damage that happens in the child also when there is no investment. So invest ही किया नहीं है, withdraw करने की बारी आई. Then when real withdrawal time comes, when is the real withdrawal time? 12 to 16, right? 12 to 16 withdrawal time. Then children won't listen to us. There is strong rebellion. So therefore, if you don't want to face that, you better, do it all right here. This is the time to invest. Invest means listen to the child. What does the child after all want to do? It wants to climb the window. Stand there and watch it climb. And clap your hand. Yeah? And if the child falls, you are there to hold it. Don't instill unnecessary fears in the child. There are so many no's that for you, not for the child. What is the first no? Don't say no to the child. Yeah? The first no to all the mothers and the fathers is don't say no. Why should you not say no? We will be curtailing its natural curiosity to explore. Yeah? Don't make house a museum. When the house becomes museum, which means what? No, museum means delicate things. ये इतना एक्सपेंसिव है, इसके पास मत जाओ बेटा, उधर मत चढ़ो, वो खराब हो जाएगा, इसको मत टच करो, वो मत खींचो, वो गिर जाएगा. So don't have delicate things. Make it a natural playground for your child. Yeah? Remove all those things. It can come later when the child has grown up and knows how to handle things. Right? They will come a time. But right now, if you restrict, if the child is, you can't let him out, right? Because of traffic or because of so many other reasons. The child has to be indoors, and indoor also looks like museum. He can't go anywhere, explore anything. then we restrict the child. Sankuchit kar dete hain. The child's entire makeup, personality becomes sankuchit. You understand the concept? So we cannot do that. That's injustice done to the child. The child must have spaces like this, and it must be allowed to play. Play is a very serious business. 0 to 6, play is number one. So if the question may arise, that my child does not have any playground to play, cannot play here, there, is the only child, right? So you become the friend of the friendly playmate, yeah, of the child. You play with the child. What are the games you can play with child? Hide and seek, running race. What else? Cycling. No, not cycling. Cycling is for slightly older children. Not puzzles. Yeah. Very creative games, simple games. Run from here and touch that wall. Yeah. Who will touch mummy first? Who will run and touch mummy first? Who will roll on the ground? Yeah. Not just for the first and second, just rolling on the ground. Pillow fight, rolling on the bed, and stacking up chadar on top. Yeah, making an obstacle course inside the house. You climb on the sofa, get down, climb on the table, and go on the grill, jump from there. Obstacle course. How excited the child will be, right? So, pour out your creative side. The child wants to write on the wall. Create a space. Yeah, this is Rithi's wall. Give it a name. This is Rithi's wall. None of us can write on it. Only Rithi will write. Yeah, how happy she will be. She will scratch, yeah, and do all kinds of graffiti there. So we need to become creative. We need to give them that happiness. Yeah. So the more we say no, no this, no that, does it mean beta mobile le lo, yeah? No. Here is no for you. No media at all. Zero media. Why zero media? Tell me now. Huh?
Just stop the growth.
What growth?
Physically, they will be sitting at the session.
Brain growth. Yeah. So at the time of birth, the child has got all the neurons that it wants in its whole lifetime. 350 million neurons. Yeah? Now, but they are not connected to each other. Therefore, the eyeball is there, but the vision is not there. Yeah? The neural pathways are to be formed. 0 to 6, the neural pathways are getting formed. Very important. Neural pathways, do you understand? If I have to hold this mic, the neural pathway is prompting the brain that I should hold the mic. If that connection is cut, mic will fall from my hand. Right? If I have to be speaking in a manner that you all understand, intelligibly I have to speak. That means that neural connection has to be formed first. Speech, eyesight, sense of smell, everything is forming. The brain is developing. So when the brain is developing, where is it getting the energy from? From food, right? The only source of energy for the child is from the food, right? For all of us also. Food that it eats. How much food does it eat? Like Bakasura, right? It eats little food. That gets converted into energy. And that energy is used for internal organ growth. Remember, the gut is getting formed, the internal organs are growing, the limbs are growing, the muscles, the bones are growing. How much growth is happening inside the body? The brain is growing, the neural pathways are forming. Now, if this energy goes into processing of information, what is media? Media means you have to process it, right? It's giving birth to your brain. So similarly, early schooling before 6 years means ABCD. What is A? What is A? B or C? What is that? Alphabets. You know alphabets. But first time a child hears A, what is A? Sound, right? It has no sense. But the child knows banana, right? So when you say banana, does it understand what it is? That is how we need to teach the child. Nothing abstract. Yeah? Something that the child already knows, in the house. It knows mummy, it knows papa, it what all it's learning. So many things it's learning. It's learning language. Language, you try to learn one language now. Kannada, all of you can try to learn Kannada. In 3 years, learn it in 3 years. Very difficult, right? But a child learns it. Somebody said it's not intelligent. It is learning a language which is so complex. It starts speaking and grammatically correct. It speaks, right? Mother tongue. So such complexities like language learning is happening. And in these days and times, not just one language, right? Multiple languages it is learning. So much energy is already going into processing. And imagine if external stimuli is there. Anything external stimuli like abstract concepts, ABCD, 1, 2, 3, and then writing, moving its fine motor skill, which is not yet developed. So when it is moving, it does not know whether to move from up or down, why it should be straight. So much of confusion, and they are forcing the child. So what's happening? Sankuchita. Yeah? We are constricting its growth. So what happens when we give it a mobile phone? The neural pathways are forming. There's a permanent disconnection. Every minute, some neural pathway is getting formed. So the more the child is exposed to mobile phones, so much. What is mobile phone? Media. What is media? Frames per second, right? Like one picture, static picture, photograph, another photograph. Like this, 1,000 photographs, which are moving every second. 1,000 photographs. How much processing is needed? Frame per second, it's called. So when it is frame per second, so much processing, and brain takes away 90% of the energy to process. 90% of the food that we eat gets converted into ATP or energy, and when the brain is processing, 90% of that energy has to be supplied to the brain for only processing, not for brain growth and development. So then what happens? The body, the internal organs have to make do with the 10% energy that is remaining. Right? Whereas it would have used up 100% of energy. So therefore, please, don't do this injustice to child. How does it manifest? If the child is constantly exposed to media, how does it manifest? Video games,
They become very social skills become
poor social skills, harsh, they cannot regulate their emotions, they throw tantrums, they don't know how to sit still, because whenever brain is getting processing, a hormone called dopamine is released. Dopamine is something that stimulates the pleasure, yeah, and dopamine we demand more and more of it. There is no
addiction.
yeah, there is no stability in that. So it has to be exponentially more and more and more for the mind to feel good, for the mind to get pleasure. So more and more and more. There's no end to it. So we all know that These days there are so many reels, there are so many useless things. So then there is the risk of exposure, bad exposure. So once the child sees something bad on the internet, on the phone, it is a permanent impression, permanent samskara. The curiosity is so high in children. I told you, jigyasa and antaprerana. And then it will want to know what it is. It wants to go there to that site once again and to see it. Yeah. It is very innocent. We have pushed him or her in that direction by giving them access to the mobile phone. So, what is the best way to slowly wean off? If your child is already addicted to phone, slowly wean off. Don't do. There is nothing in Prakriti. There is no. Yesterday was winter. Today is summer. There is nothing like that in Prakriti. Slowly, yeah, gradually it becomes summer. Our bodies get used to it. So biologically, there has to be an organic movement into the child should not know that you are weaned him off the mobile phone. That is the process. That is the right process. Don't snatch it away and say, from now on I won't give it to you. Okay, do what you want. That's not the way. Yeah. We cause damage to the child. So we have to be loving to the child. So in this first 5 years, and there cannot be mobile phone exposure. There has to be everything that is going in as um, that helps the child's overall development of the Annamaya kosha, the internal organs, the brain, right? Which means nutritious food, which is fed with love. We play with the child, and the child becomes a very happy person. Yeah? At this point, are there any questions? 0 to 6. Otherwise, we'll move to 6 to 16. The turbulent times. No questions? No questions. Okay. Huh?
Because of already spoiled with this, what is the...
Yeah, what is the damage control? Damage control. If we have already given mobile phone, so I told you, wean it off. Because 6 to 16 also no mobile phone. Yeah.
So, Mama, you told what about this? Don't do that.
Yes.
That has happened.
So if we have already not invested enough and withdrawn, so invest now. Okay, today is the best day to start rectifying our past mistakes, because the child is ready for love anytime. Even a 16-year-old is ready for love. Even a 12-year-old is ready, and a 7-year-old also is ready. So today is the best day to start rectifying the mistakes that we did. So but it is very difficult now, because now we go into Tadayet Dashavarshani. The next 10 years is to discipline the child. So disciplining means being firm, demanding, yeah. So like that. So now, how do we give love? So there is some balance that you need to create.
So,
Stress.
three things, it's only the mobile phone or it is the...
All.
But now most of the education is on laptop.
Yeah. So you have to take a conscious decision. That's a choice that you have to make. You can have the school is just catering to what is going on outside. If all the parents get together and say we don't want to expose our children to media so early on, the school will listen and they will change their rules. So the movement has to happen from the parent sides. There was a question.
Some cases where we start comparing. If I say no to this, I try to make a little bit understand. People say that kid is doing this kid is doing that.
No for what?
In certain cases, for example, mobile cases, she's watching TV.
Yeah, so as I told you, we need to create options for children. Yeah, without creating an option, we can't withdraw. So, what are the options that I can create for this child? Can I play with the child, for example? Can I have some games for the child? Can I become creative with the child? So, define a timetable for the child. You know, in the morning hours, if the child is curious about you working in the kitchen, wants to come and help you, why don't you set up a small kitchenette for the child? Give it chaku. Don't instill fear. Child will be very careful to handle the chaku. So give it and use those vegetables in the meal. Yeah. And ask the child to, give it some chapatis to make. So engage the child, folding clothes, engage the child. Because such small children are very curious to know what you are doing, the child wants to do. Right? So, which means that where did the mobile phone come from? From us. No, from us. We may be wanting to see some, uh, you know, uh, we may be wanting to set up a meeting or God knows what. So, but the child is, what does the child see? That is something that my mother is constantly with. Hmm? I also want it. So, therefore, when in the presence of our child, we must minimize. We must learn to minimize. When the child is asleep, after hours, that is the time for us to do our work. Or when the child is grown up. But then, when the child is around and impressionable, wants to imitate, in the phase of imitation, this is the 0 to 6, 0 to actually 9 is the phase of imitation. The child imitates the parents and learns so many things: language, behavior, everything that the child learns from us. So, therefore, it is imitating. And then, when we create options for child, like for example, we'll go out to the park and play. That is the time when the child will not demand mobile phone. And then you engage the child at home. So the child will not demand. Then involve it in your morning program. Ask it to make flower garland. Ask it to wipe the puja room clean. Yeah. So in this way, the child will develop affinity towards it. 0 to 6 is a very potent time to give it Krishna conscious practices. Yeah. So later on, it will be very difficult to convince the child when the intelligence is has blossomed. Yeah. But now the child is so receptive. So you engage the child, ask it to make garlands, ask it to give tea to papa, this to the grandma, press my leg, mommy is tired. The child will willingly do all these things. So engage the child, have options. You need to do some homework before withdrawing the privilege. Yeah? So these are privileges that you are trying to withdraw. The withdrawal symptom will be there. So I told you gradually you need to withdraw. So reduce the time, and then it becomes 0. Okay? The child should not know how it went off from its hand. That, yeah.
The way. But this is the way you mentioned, like we need to keep them involved in the household chores or like any activity, like it might be devotional activity or any activity that we do in day to day life. So Mataji, they are very much naturally like I'm telling about my kid. So naturally, my kid is interested to learn. Like the way you said, natural curiosity. So that is there to learn. But the problem is, once they know that how to fold the cloth, they don't go back to that place again. So like they know how to cut the vegetable. First 2 3 times they will be very much interested. But the way they see reels or any content in the any content that is new for them always. So that's their mind processes like okay, I need to go there and I need to revisit that. But the work, like any work, like that
Is
is
this
any work.
0 to 6?
No, she's
Okay, we'll come to that phase later.
correct.
The questions are from 0 to 6.
Mataji, I have a very specific question. So my younger one is almost 4 and my elder one is almost 9. So very recently I realized that I've been making a mistake which is I'm providing a parenting to both of them together. When I cater to the other one's requirement, the other one will miss out. And when I do the other thing, then the other one will be missed out. So I plan their schedule in a way that I spend separate time with both of them separately. Planning something that they enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, as it's because I don't give them screen, but as a byproduct, the challenge I'm facing now is whenever I am in a time which is scheduled for my elder one, my younger one will feel that I'm excluding him. So how to handle this? And I'm the only one at my home. There's no other person who can be in the situation. So how to handle this situation? Like how to include the other one for whom the activity is not planned.
Yeah. So there are these challenges in these times when the mother is the only one who is handling two children, and there is, earlier there was the joint family system where there were so many children and they could be engaged with their age group children. Without it was a natural selection process, and we didn't have to interfere because I don't remember in my childhood if my mother sat down with me ever helping me with my homework or nothing. Yeah, she said you just take it. I didn't even know if in my times my parents didn't know I was in 10th grade. Today, catch a parent who does not know the child is in 10th grade. My father would say, "What are you studying?" Tell uncle, I'm in my 10th standard. Okay, like that. Yeah. So there was a different time, different generation. Today, Desh Kala Patra. So what are today's challenges? The challenges are with respect to time. How do I balance it between two age groups? These are really big challenges. So I think you need to find a group of parents, group of homeschoolers who are looking for similar age group parents. Yeah? So in your society, in your apartment, if there are, get them together, and so that they get a friend, the similar age group, and you don't have to, you can volunteer to be with one age group children once in a while, and you also get some free time in the bargain. So have a deal with a few groups of parents of similar age groups, so that you can take turns to take care of them. Have some games planned out for them, have a small kirtan for them, give them prasad, whatever. So that the two age groups can be catered to differently.
Like Krishna Mataji, I have two kids, same age group, 0 to 5. Both of these are like just a gap of 2 years. So when the older one is slightly older, the younger one becomes more willful actually when she sees the sister. So how do we manage this? Even if the gap is very small, both are in 0 to 5 category only. So they become more willful, especially now because they go to
So what do you mean by willful?
they want to do their things only by themselves, and even if it is wrong, if it's like it's going to hurt them, like say you said, don't say no, even if it hurts them, and they want to do things only in their way at their times, we should just let go. That is what you want to do.
Yes, so the principle is Panchavarshani Lalaya. So we listen to them. But if they're getting in a dangerous situation, then we tactfully get them out of it. Okay? There is something called tact. So now the challenge is that of time. That of time. So from your question, I sense that it's a question of time. So you need to give that time to both of them. Yeah. Otherwise, what happens is they will start competing with each other for your time. And what they're right now doing is something called attention seeking. They know that if they do it wrong, they'll get your attention. So to attract your attention, they'll start doing the wrong thing because unfortunately, parents give more attention when they're doing the wrong thing. When they're doing the right thing, we're not paying much attention to them. So what they learn is, if I do the wrong thing, I'll get my mother's attention, father's attention, like that. And so you start giving them positive attention. So spend time with them, feed both of them lovingly because they can be fed. This is the age to feed them. Tell them stories together. So you have that advantage that both of them are in similar age group, age bracket. So you can do many things with them. If you have a helping hand, that will be better for you, so that you can space your time. It's about time. So we'll move to 6 to 16. Yes. So,
One
yeah.
question. So in terms of like a healthy food and junk food, my son is 5 years old. And till 4 years, he was fine with the healthy foods taking into school and all. Nowadays, he started asking because of the peer pressure. I guess all my other friends are getting junk food. Why are you giving only healthy food to them? So if we tell them like you become healthy, strong, they are also healthy. I like all these kind of questions started coming now. And he wants junk food to have now. Or else he started asking them to give. All this kind of things started to 1 year ago. Like home also some relatives get that. Why are you not giving? So this has become like it's very difficult to make them understand and convince also. And the food will be very tasty also. If you make it at home, it says it's not that tasty what you are making. So it's how to handle these kind of questions.
Yeah. So heterogeneity is the problem. So when the child sees a homogeneous atmosphere at home and outside, that is a more congenial way of growth for the child. But when it sees dichotomy, at home environment is different, and it looks like dry place. Home is a dry place. There are so many rules, restrictions, and nothing interesting happens at home. Outside is so interesting, so enticing. So this is what is the challenge. The modern times and poses us with this challenge. So as mothers, I think our job becomes Herculean. Yeah. So my heart goes out to all the mothers here, uh, because we need to become very, very creative. These days, if we have to give the child a good culture, then we have to become very creative. Or we have to look for schools which have a homogeneous atmosphere similar to that of our house. Yeah. So at Vidya Kshetra, our school, our children don't have this problem because everybody has to eat the food that we cook there, and they cannot leave anything in the plate. They don't know what is junk food, or they don't have those demands. So you need to look for a school which has more similar acceptable culture, and if need be, you shift out to that place, so that, because this will not stop here. Today you are facing this challenge, tomorrow this plus x, yeah, then it will keep growing like this. How will you address? आप टूट जाएंगे. You cannot strike a balance between what the enticing world outside and the cultural protection that you want to do within. Yeah. So you need to strike a balance or get more creative. What I would say is you can get more creative with the kind of food that you can put in the box. Yeah. Try to make rolls, not just sabji chapati. Yeah. Make a roll and give it. Make it look more interesting for the child. Yeah. So instead of a pizza, you can have rotis and then maybe a layer of cheese and some tomatoes, cucumbers, some things like that. Make it look more interesting so that the child starts feeling proud to share it with others. And that's one way I can suggest.
Mataji, I have facing such what you suggested. I am facing one difficult thing now. That this time I will promote like that. Different notes and whatever you are saying. My daughter is studying in basic board school, so they are offering all the prashadam.
How old is the child?
She is about to 11.
11.
Yeah.
So we are talking about a different.
That's it.
Yeah.
So after that,
We'll come back to that. Any more questions on 0 to 6? Yeah, so we'll move to 6 to 16. So Dashavarshani Tadaye. Now is the time to discipline. So what does it mean? What does discipline mean? Discipline means a way of life. Discipline means empowering the child for life, to lead its life in the right way, right? So for that, we need to teach the child. This is the training time. You can imagine that it is the time for time of training. So for example, I'll give you an example that you can relate to, that of a potter. You know potter kumbhar. He makes ghada or pot. Everybody has seen a potter, because I need to ask this in today's time. Everybody has seen a potter, knows what a pot is, right? So, what does a potter do? Panchavarshani lalaye. So, he is very lovingly making the ghada, okay, giving it shape. Then, if he keeps doing Panchavarshani lalaye, what will happen to the ghada? It will break, right? So, Dashavarshani tade, he has to put it in the fire, right? After giving it a shape, he has to put the ghada in the pot, earthen pot, in the fire to make it pakka, right? You understand? Pakka means give it strength, give it a personality, strength, so that it can become a patra, right? It can become a supatra. It can hold things in it. So the potter, if he has misplaced affection, what will he do? Oh, you my pot. I created this pot. I will not put it in fire. What will happen? That pot will be useless, not even to a single soul. It will be useless, right? It will break. It will break. So, therefore, Dashavarshani Lalayet means it is the time when we put this pot that we have so lovingly prayed for, right? We prayed, the soul came into our house, and now we have given it a shape. Now it is time for training. We put it in the kiln, in the fire, right? Fire means discipline, right? So that it becomes pakka. It has no holes in it. The holes get covered up and the pot takes shape, becomes firm. So this is the phase, 6 to 16. So what does discipline mean to each one of you? I want to listen. Consistency,
Making them aware of boundaries.
giving them boundaries
Sensitivity
to
to the people
around you, yeah, sensitize them,
doing the right thing,
doing the right thing. By whom?
by the child.
By the child. Okay.
They're making
So-
small disciplines, how to behave. Like as soon as you come from school, if you need to keep your bag here, put your lunch down. How to when elders come to home, how you can behave. How to be good dress, all those things.
Yes. So, all of you have given the right thing. So, discipline means the form of love has changed. Yeah, like how a butterfly becomes, the pupa becomes a butterfly. It's still the same organism, right? But the form has changed. So our form of love changes from cuddling it, petting it, kissing it, to disciplining it. This is a form of love. Yeah. So disciplining means we don't have to beat the child, hit the child, scold the child. Yeah. So this is a misnomer. How to discipline the child. So what does discipline mean? Then we know a word called rhythm. Yeah. Is there a rhythm in the nature? I told you yes, there is Prakriti Niyama, right? So there is a rhythm. The sun rises in the morning, sets in the evening. Right? So we look at the rhythms, at providing good rhythms for the child. Yeah. So the child has to wake up, and we can decide when the child has to wake up. In our family, we decide when the child has to wake up. The earlier, the better it is for the health of the child. So therefore, we put a sleeping and wake up schedule. This is one rhythm. Rhythm of sleeping, rhythm of waking up. Rhythm of sleeping, rhythm of waking up. It cannot change. Right? So you all may remember from your own childhood, Did you sleep at the same time and get up at the same time? Yes, our parents ensured. Is our child waking up at the same time and sleeping at the same time? No. Where did where did we go wrong? How did we go wrong? Yes. So I deal with a lot of parents, and this is a common complaint. We are not able to give consistent rhythms to our children. Yeah. So this is sacrosanct. Yeah. If we give consistent rhythm to the child, what will happen? The child will listen to us. If we are inconsistent, the child will become manipulative. It is as simple as that. Manipulative, you understand? पापा से कुछ जाके बोलेगा और मम्मी को कुछ आके बोलेगा, and then he will get his way out between the two. So, and then he or she will throw temper tantrums. He or she will stop listening to you, will do his own thing, will take authority from you. So therefore, there is the rhythm. Rhythm means at the same time of the day, irrespective of course, there can be some aberrations once in a while, not every day. आज 4 बजे, कल 5 बजे, परसों 6 बजे, नरसों 9 बजे, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. So it has to be similar. It cannot be too much different. And eating has to be at the same rhythm. The rhythm of the house. A house should have a rhythm. Who defines the rhythm? Griha Lakshmi. Grihastha Ashram. Griha Lakshmi. She defines the rhythm of the house. Who gets up at what time? Who will have lunch at what time? I mean, all of us have lunch at what time? All of us have dinner at what time? Is defined by the Griha Lakshmi. And children, what time they go to bed, what time they get up, what is their play time, what is their study time, all this must be defined. And it must be followed in the same pattern. One day you give choot, then the child will know that now I can bargain. Does not mean that you become kattarwadi. Does not mean you become a tyrant. It means that you know why you're doing this. With knowledge. We are doing it with knowledge. We are doing it with knowledge so that the child, if the child is not potty trained, it has to be potty trained. Potty training was in 3rd year. But still the child is not potty trained, then something has gone wrong. The child is bedwetting, we need to look at some issues, emotional issues. The child is not eating food properly, then we need to look at some emotional issues. Connect with the mother. Food has got direct relationship with mother. The relationship with mother. Mother needs to then step in and embrace the child with love. So with love, many things can be corrected. So how do we discipline the child? We set the rhythms of the child properly. We correct the rhythms or give it certain rhythms. There's a rhythm of going to the school, coming back from school. What does the child do after coming back from school? Is there a morning program? Is there an evening program? When is the family time? So all these things go in to the long-term investment of making the personality of the child. Yeah. So what are some of the other things that the child will learn? Sanyama. Have you heard this terminology called Sanyama? Sanyam. So Vani Sanyam, Swad Sanyam, Artha Sanyam are the Sanyamas. So what does Vani Sanyam mean? It means that we teach the child what is respectable language, what the child needs to speak. If the child is using bad language, we correct it. This is not how we speak. सभ्य इंसान ऐसे नहीं बात करता है बेटा, हमको सभ्य लैंग्वेज यूज करते हैं. So the child might have picked up certain bad words from outside. So we correct it very lovingly. Every time we tell the child that this is not how. How will the child learn? We start using Sabya language. We are not in a hurry. So the child learns not to be in a hurry. So whatever we do, we want the child to do, we do it ourselves. So we model it for the child. The child looks at us as role model. So right now also the phase of imitation is going on. 6, 7, 8. By the time the child is 9, certain independence has set in. It's time for friendships to happen. Yeah? The child says, I don't have friends. Starts saying, talking about friends. So at the age of 9. Why does it happen around 9? Till then, the circadian rhythm, the rhythm of the heart beat to the breathing, the ratio has not yet set. You can see that the small child breathes very rapidly. So the ratio is 1:4. The ratio of one heartbeat to four, one time breathing to 4 times heartbeat is set at the age of 9. That is when the child starts feeling more independent, wants to, now socially become more active. He has certain peer pressures. Yeah, we'll start talking about friends. All these things start happening around 9, and the social play starts happening. Till then, the social play is, they are just playing in a group. Now he starts feeling emotionally affected by whatever his friend does, right? So, and he comes back with tales of, this person did this to me, that person did that to me, how mean he is, how nice this person is. They start recognizing the emotions of other people around 9. So the heart is set, ruling. So I was talking about Sayama. So Vani Sayam. Vani Sayam is what is the language to be used. So if we are using rich language at home, mother tongue, then or exposing them to richness in that language, to Sahitya, to the songs in that language, then all the more better. The child will develop very fine language skills. Language is very important because what the child wants to convey to another is it is using the language as a medium, right? So, sabhya insan or asabhya insan में क्या फर्क है? One of the things is language. Second is behavior. Right? So, how the child has to behave also is a part of training. Yeah. So we correct the child every time the child is not behaving properly. First, we teach how to behave properly. Like Mataji said, if there are elders coming in, we touch the feet of the elders. We do pranam, namaste, and we don't let the child go just like that. We call after the guest has left. We come, we sit down with the child and talk. Why will you not do namaste? Do we ever question to our children? We just, ho gaya. Next time they do. No, we ask the child to, we have a dialogue with the child. Every time have a dialogue with the child, do some corrections. Yeah? So very gently and lovingly. We don't have to be ruthless and unkind. We can convey if somebody is talking to you in a very harsh tone, do you listen to that person or do you get affected by that person? What happens? You get affected. You get affected. So similarly, child gets affected. He is not listening to you. So if you want the child to listen, you have to talk calmly. Corrections have to be done very calmly. Usually one on one, not in a group. हाँ कल तो तू ऐसे बोल रहा था, आज खबरदार उधर गए थे. This will send the child in a very anti direction. We don't want our children to go away from us, right? So we want them to be with us. So we correct them gently, and in a manner that they understand. And we recognize that the child has made the correction, we acknowledge it. बेटा मैंने देखा कि आपने आज नमस्ते किया, ऐसे ही है बेटा, nice, keep it up. So when we acknowledge, we strengthen that behavior. Okay? So this is behavior, training in behavior. If we don't train them, what will people say? देखो वो माता जी का बेटा ऐसे ही घूमता रहता है, ना कुछ काम ना धंधा, किसी का लिहाज नहीं उसको, right? So we also talk about other children like this. So we have to check what are our children doing, how are they behaving when they are going outside. So it's training. When we go outside, this is how we behave, right? So we teach them, and we teach them through our own behavior. We teach them by correcting their behaviors. So then there is Artha Sanyam. Now this is a big challenge for us today. So how many clothes does your child have? Artha means money, right? So how much the child wants is 3 or 4 pairs of clothes, but how much does the child have? Who has bought it? He bought it? We bought it. So who is doing wrong by the child? We are. Yeah? We've got the child into a habit of giving it much more than it needs. Every time. Everything. साइकिल जरूरत से पहले आ गई, ट्राईसाइकिल चलाने से पहले ट्राईसाइकिल आके खड़ा हो गया, बाईसाइकिल he has 2 or 3. Will he respect or value it? No. So who is responsible when tomorrow he will put his parents in old age home? He has no respect or value for anything. हमने सिखाया नहीं उस बच्चे को. Does the child know how to reach his school on his own every time? अरे मुझे drop. We drop the child. We feel it's unsafe outside. How many of our parents dropped us to school? We managed. We went on our own, right? We found out how to go. So the child, can you imagine the child? We are constantly on the child's case. We are not giving it some independence, age appropriate independence. We are not giving it time to explore. Its curiosity, which is curtailed. ये सब पढ़ना, ये पढ़ना ही है. पढ़ो बैठ के. What does the child want to do? Do we listen to the child? So these are very important and pertinent questions. It forms the basis of your bond with the child. If your child is important to you, you have to empathize with your child. You have to know what the child wants, what the child does not want. And if it is academics that the child does not relate to, does not want to, find out what ticks the child, what the child is interested in. ठीक है, maths नहीं चाहिए तुमको, क्या करोगे बेटा? क्या तुमको अच्छा लगता है? Have a dialogue. Have an open dialogue with the child. Sometimes, the child can be smart. That you're coming for a dialogue. ठीक है, maths से कर So you need to recognize there needs to be tact. Yeah, parenting is an art, therefore. So you need to know when the child is trying to fool you and when the child genuinely cannot relate to that subject. So you need to find out what is it that interests this child and give it those exposures. Swimming है, swimming class में भेजिए. संगीत है, संगीत class में भेजिए. So give that child what the child has. That every child has some unique propensity. What the education outside is doing is it's fitting everybody into a single frame. That is not how life is. Are all of you same? Each one of you have different propensities, right? But what does the schooling do? It tries to fit everybody in the same block, right? Every child is unique. I've been with children for the last 15 years. Every child is different. Every child has a different aspiration, has a different inner proclivity. The teacher's job is to bring out what is within the child and nourish it, nurture it, so that that child is let out in freedom and can do what he is meant to do in his life. This is the parent's job as well. So what is it about parenting that we provide them with tools for life? आगे को उनकी जिंदगी उनको अपने आप जीना है. We cannot be there forever, right? With them, correcting them and holding them and providing for them. We need to make them independent as soon as possible. This must be our job. Thinking. How they need to have the Viveka Shakti. When does Viveka Shakti? What is Viveka? We'll come to that post 16. So right now these children don't have Viveka. Viveka is a factor of Buddhi Shakti or intellect. Viveka is the sense of discrimination between what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad for me. What is the right way, what is the wrong way. So this sense of discrimination, this age group does not have yet. Therefore, we have to guide them. And there could be arguments as the children grow, they get this sense of independence, independent thinking. We can recognize that, we can acknowledge that. And if the child is taking wrong decisions, we can have a dialogue with them. We should always look for opportunities to have dialogues. The child cannot reject a logical argument. The problem is, instead of giving it logic and reasoning, we are giving it further strict instruction. यही करेगा तू और कुछ नहीं करेगा. Right? Who wants to listen to your instructions? I will do my own thing. Right? So if it is disciplining is a very difficult task at hand in today's time, because the markers are outside the house. The what do you call markers means no, not problem. The benchmark. The benchmark is outside the home in the society. So allurements in form of allurements are all outside. Inside house is discipline, rules, regulations, right? So the task becomes very, very difficult. And we are living in heterogeneous society. Everybody's house does not look the same. In their house, they have TV, music, dance, this, that, everything. But we are trying to protect our child, give it good culture, give it good samskara, right? So there is dichotomy in the society today. Therefore, the challenges are higher. Yeah. So, Sayama, Artha Sayama. This is definitely our own doing. Yeah. Give your child things money can't buy. Like getting drenched in the rain, climbing a tree, plucking mangoes from there, going to Uru. Uru is your native place. There could be still some agricultural land there. Yeah. So being out there and playing with the child, playing badminton or whatever. So do all those swimming, going swimming in a well, for example. Doing all those exciting things, going on a trek. Trek means does not need to be paid, right? There are paid groups which take you on a trek, not the paid ones. Just locate a hillock nearby, take your child, go cycling with your child. Like that, yeah. So these are the moments which child will relish. When you close your eyes, yeah, those are the moments you need to create for your child. Because in the 40s or 50s, when there is a moment in the life of a person, when the person is lost, you know, in the daily rigmarole, and then there is a moment when it's called midlife crisis sometimes. So when the person goes to a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, the person will ask, "How was your childhood? Did you have a happy childhood, or did you have a troubled childhood?" So why is the psychiatrist asking these questions? Is because foundation matters. Yeah? एक बिल्डिंग अगर गलत फाउंडेशन पे खड़ा है तो वो आज ना कल टूटेगा, right? It will fall down, it will crumble. So the foundational years have to be are very important, and they better be happy ones. Why? Because I told you, hormones are stimulated. Stimulation happens, and the correct kind of hormone has to be triggered. So, happy hormones trigger happy development, positive development in the child. The child's mental makeup becomes positive. Yeah. So, I think I'll stop now. Artha Sayam, Vani Sayam, Swad Sayam. Yeah, I'll not even get into Swad Sayam because one or two questions already have come in. And how do we regulate? How do we go with what's going on outside all these? So I think I'll stop here and I'll take some questions. So if you have some questions, you can ask me. Yes.
Hey, Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. This was wonderful to know. I had this question. So, when we're trying to discipline, so especially a city like Bangalore, schools are so far, the schools are long, the children only spend a few hours with us. Then they bring all these samskaras from school. They have already this today's day and age, they don't want to listen to anyone. So a lot of time, if we have to do just the basic discipline, you tell them this is the right way. No, actually, by this age, that this is the right thing to do. You should come. Something simple. Once you're back from school, change your uniform and then sit. But it's just that they're also becoming adamant, and even something as simple as getting into that routine becomes tough. And then you have to keep telling them. So it seems like in the day there's a lot more nagging than the pleasant moments. So what should be our strategy to deal with some of this?
Yeah.
There are so many of those moments, Mataji, with respect to how they are having prasad, coming and doing some basic devotional service, having routine, like, when to go to sleep, brushing their teeth at night, or when they change their uniform, like have they bathed properly. Very simple things like that. So it seems like we have 4 hours together, everything goes away in just teaching them this. So it looks like, and they don't like to be disciplined. So how do we create that balance?
Yes. So a very good question.
We all have
Now,
the same.
yeah, so I'm sure many of you will have a similar question. So let me answer that. Disciplining and love can be the same thing. Okay. So disciplining does not have to be opposite of love. Okay. So in our minds we know that for a fact. So how do we tell a child, because the child is becoming more and more independent and is does not want to listen. So there is something called as shifting the responsibility to the child. So how do we shift the responsibility to the child? So one fine day, sit down with your child and you tell the child, you can always express your displeasure in a more palatable way than nagging. Okay? Nobody wants to be nagged. Okay? Neither my daughter. I have a daughter who's 17 now. Nobody wants a nagging mother. Yeah? So you have to shift the responsibility to the child. What does that mean? So that means that you sit down with the child and say, बेटा आज से मैं तुमको मेरा बोलना बोलते रहना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. I also don't have so much energy. I'm also growing old. And I also have so many other things. So you also want to become independent. So can we have a deal? Can you define your timetable, daily timetable? कि सुबह में क्या करोगे, शाम में क्या करोगे, स्कूल से आने के बाद क्या क्या करोगे, मेरे ये एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं तुमसे, will you be able to fulfill this? You know, if you put in more expectations, then you say which of the 5 expectations will you be able to fulfill. So have a deal with the child. Then once the child has accepted that I will fulfill 1, 2, 3, because it looks interesting, yeah, he's been given an option now. So I will fulfill 2, 4 and 6. I won't do 1, 4 and 5. So that's what you wanted. Yeah, you put in some dummy expectations there, so that the child also has choice. Yeah? So the child picks in those ones, and supposing the child has left out a responsibility that you really wanted him to do, then you say, "मेरे लिए ये भी कर दो, ये भी I want you to do this," right? So parenting is also about being an authority, not just giving in to the child's demands, wrong demands, illegitimate demands should never be agreed to. Illegitimate demands, you know about legitimate demands and illegitimate demands. Legitimate demands are good for the child. Illegitimate demands are premature. For example, I want video game. उससे क्या होगा, आंखें खराब होगी, दिमाग मंद होगा. So why do you want? You are not able to explain it to them, and all their friends have it in the society. Then what do? We postpone it. Yeah? ठीक है, जब तेरा 10th standard हो जाएगा तब मैं दिला दूंगी. Okay, so postpone it to, don't postpone it to an infinite time when the child will think that मुझे कुछ कभी नहीं मिलेगा. So postpone it to a finite time and do it. Yeah, but after the test, you remember. So you have to be a woman of your words. जो बच्चे को बोला गया है वो करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise, the child will never trust us. Yeah, trust is a very very thin, delicate matter. So जो भी बोलते हैं वो करना पड़ेगा. And we have to be consistent. आज ये कर दिया, ये अलाउ कर दिया, कल नहीं अलाउ किया, परसों अलाउ किया, परसों नहीं अलाउ किया. ये inconsistency will not go well. Yeah? Then we'll have to nag with the child. We have to be consistent with our practices. In our life, we need to have certain consistencies. If we are getting up every day in Brahma Muhurta, then we have the strength to tell the child the benefits of waking up early. If the child is not listening, then we tell the child that we have to wake up before the sun. Even if you are not able to, this is my outer limit. Define your outer limit. I want you to get up before sunrise. Sunrise is at 6:15, so you have to be up by 5:45. Strike a deal. They more like to, after 9 years of age, they want to be included in all the decisions of their lives. So you shift the responsibility to them, make it look like as if they are choosing what to do and what not to do. But inadvertently, they are changing. You ensure that they are changing the uniforms to house clothes. All these things you put down there. The ones that they have not chosen, you tell that I want you to do this. If you don't do this and this, I'm okay with it, but I want you to do this and this. Do we have an agreement on this? The child will say yes. It's not that the child does not want. Now, afterwards, how do we implement it? Yeah. So then you say that 15 days, we will try to implement this for the next 15 days and see if it is going well. So you raise a red flag when it's not going well. And I will also raise a red flag when it's not going well. Is that okay? Then you don't have to nag. Make a red flag and wave it. may become creative. Yeah, wave the red flag. The child will see, Amma, I have to change uniform now. No, I know this red flag means that. When you smile and say, when you smile, what happens is you're sending a positive vibration towards your child. The child will get up and go and change the change. Yeah? So our outlook, when we are nagging, what is it? We are irritated, right? We are irritated by their behavior. We want them to be perfect. Period. Right? We demand perfection from them. We cannot be so. We need to know their real limits. We need to know their strengths and their weaknesses. So a little bit stretch is an okay demand. So this is how tactfully arrive at get them to do all those things that are a part of their discipline.
Actually, just two quick follow-ups to this, what you explained. So, in this framework, is there any place of reward and punishment? That's my question. Second, you said this has to be very consistent. But all of us would like to have a cheat day. Someday we want to not
Yes,
do
yes.
something.
Yeah.
So, is that
That's okay. That's okay. Once in a while, I think you were not there. I told that once in a while, breaking the rhythm is also okay. Once in a while.
and the reward and punishment? Is there in this
Yeah.
framework?
So
What is
every time if we reward, then we are setting a wrong expectation. That every time for an expected behavior of changing the dress every day, there cannot be reward. Yeah? So that is something good for their hygiene. The reward is that they are good health. So once in a while, when we think that they have done something out of the ordinary, then we can reward them. Reward can be something, a cake that you bake, something like that. Don't buy them things. When we buy them things, they value it less. When you make things, they value it more. So I was talking about Artha Sayama. So we need to really check on this. And delayed gratification is okay. Is okay. They need to learn. Where do we learn? Where do we teach patience to our children? We want them to be patient, but have we taught them patience? Have we taught them the virtue of waiting? So they need to know that things need to be earned. How do they earn it? Through their good behavior, through their discipline, through their performances, maybe. Yeah. While I wouldn't give that much of a rating, through their behavior, largely. They earn things. So when they behave nicely, what can be a reward? But I was very happy the way you respectfully treated everybody yesterday. This is the reward, right? As simple as this. The child also knows that that is the reward. My mother never praises me, and today she has praised me. Right?
one other question. Like this record when you're talking about, my son is like, if I record him once, that's all, he will become so light and he will not follow it. For him, it is like even for the exams, if he studies and works hard and get good marks, that's all. The next two exams will be gone. Like for him, it is like he gets the satisfaction become very loose. Like that way, I'm not knowing how to handle the situation.
Motivated.
Like, rewarding is like making him very light, and if I don't reward also, it will give him kind of frustration. So I'm not knowing how to handle it.
Um, I think it's a very, very, I have to see the house situation, what it is, because there seems to be some background to it. Why it is so? Because there is an inconsistent behavior in the child. It could be because of inconsistent rhythms. So inconsistent rhythms lead to inconsistent behaviors in child. So maybe you need to correct those inconsistencies in the house rhythms, in your own behavior with the child. Maybe you can reflect a little bit of how consistent you are with the child. So this reflection will probably give you an answer.
Food saying, ahar saying, as you have mentioned. Yeah. So, for saying, so for that, I'm a little bit struggling with this. My daughter, she's about to be married. So, she has getting some health issues because of she's studied in a basic school. They are offering small prasad. But at home, she was trying to compare that at school, even I'm getting food, healthy food. At home, you are offering healthy food. Even with a lot of dialogues, I'm just trying to showcase how healthy it is. Why we supposed to have it. And she was trying to compare with the outside world. They are also parents. They are offering while you are struggling. And I try to negotiate that okay, 20 days we can have a healthy. Then try to mix up with the junk or with some other delicious food what you really like. So, but even I'm struggling how to handle because discipline is badly needed. Because even with the thing I'm not very much satisfied that okay we can mix and match or we can make a tasty food. Because I remember in my hostel days, I have seen I was the only one who was okay with the food what they offered. Because my upbringing in a joint family. So there were 35 people in the family. So my mother said, this is the food. I'm not going to make another. So I remember the bitter gourd I was rolling in my chapati and aloo or my swallow that time. So I really want to make her understand that no, I'm not going to fulfill as per the taste. Sometimes we need to go with the healthy, whatever it is. Because I'm living, I and my husband, we both are citizens. So how to make it in a very good way?
Yeah. So this is again a problem of the modern times where there are inconsistencies or heterogeneity between our home culture and what we want for our child and what's going on in the outside world. So with respect to food, see, food is about health. Yeah, and we know that when the child does not have the Viveka Shakti to discriminate between what is good food and what is bad food and keeps having these arguments, then I think we put our foot down and say that बेटा तेरे को मैं मूवी दिखाने जाऊंगी but आहार तू यही खाएगी. Have a flip it up. Yeah, don't compromise. There are certain things which cannot be compromised. Health cannot be compromised because once lost, we all know. Yeah? Once lost, it is a downward spiral. So health के मामले में कुछ नहीं. भले ही वो एक दो movies extra देख ले, that's okay. Yeah? You can choose. Yeah, you can choose some good movies and then. So you have a deal with the. Always deals work. Yeah.
I thought of it was only corporate
With children also, try. They'll be so happy. Deal करो. बेटा खाना तो यही खाना. But तेरे को मैं पिक्चर लेके जाऊंगी तो पिक्चर चाहिए तो लेके जाओ. ऐसे मत बताइए कि तू ये खाना खाएगी तो ऐसे मत. नो ऑप्शन. खाना तो यही खाना. घर का ही खाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि कल को यू विल थैंक मी. आई नो कल को यू विल थैंक मी. इतना ही बोलिए. Yes.
So my kid is 12-year-old and she is kind of like she's good in like 95% good in all the aspects that we say like the swata aspect, artha aspect, and she's too good. But the 5% time we struggle like she gets driven by the influence maybe like hormonal changes or friends and all this we are struggling like how we parents can make that like a strong foundation. Like, though we understand.
Be happy with the 95%. Everybody agrees. People are struggling with 5% right. nice child, you are very, very lucky. So I don't think you have cause of concern there.
Same as Mataji. I am very happy with my daughter. She is very good. But what is the problem? She is comparing whatever her circle. The parents is the artist I am like this. The parents are demanding they fulfill their child. They compare with them. See, today she asks the shows that uncle has given, but you are not giving me. And I said the example in my Prabhuji and me. In a once a year, if we want, we have a decided with Diwali. It's come we buy this dress. We are not buying anything. We said the example. See, Mama didn't buy Papa. If you give to Papa birthday, then Papa will get the T-shirt. He's not buying anything. But what is my how I control he she will not compare.
No, you don't have to answer all questions. Sometimes just listening to them. Don't pressurize yourselves to answer every question of the child. Sometimes you just listen to the child and acknowledge it. Okay.
Mother, this is comparing like if you are not fulfill my demand, but they are fulfilling. So that time they can no मेरे मम्मी पापा मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहे लेकिन सिर्फ उनके parents
नहीं. So in your head you be clear कि what will be the repercussion, outcome. क्या होगा? आज बड़ा 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 करेगी, कल ठीक हो जाएगी. What did our parents do? Did they fulfill every demand of ours? No. We did this, we did that, we didn't get.
Yeah, we said the example. Past 3 years, she's asking the bicycle. I said, if you got the good marks, I want the, in each and subject, if you get.
They don't attach it to the marks.
But really, she's very obedient. Whatever I'm saying, just when she's the others, now that time.
Yes, of course, that is the age. This is the age where the value of the parents go down and the peer value goes up. Well, so that's okay. That's quite normal. It's okay. You just give her a hearing. What the child wants you to do at this age is to listen to it, acknowledge its feelings. Yes, beta. Deepavali आएगी तो हम दिलाएंगे. You stay consistent to your words. That's all.
Yeah, Mata, that is we do. That's why we this birthday.
You don't feel bad about it. The problem happens when we start feeling bad, when we start reacting to it, to their demands. And because we also are comparing, अरे शर्मा जी के बेटे के पास शूज आ गया, आज नया शूज आ गया, कल नया शूज आ गया, मैं कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ. Don't be under this pressure.
Mataji, I have a burning question and I'm really happy that you are here to answer. So, Mataji,
Burn all.
So, Mataji, from past 2 years, I've been struggling in one area, which is now my younger one is almost 4. So, after his birth, I realized that this situation came. So, there are a lot of disagreements between me and my husband in terms of what should be the parenting style. Now, till some extent, we used to discuss when we are alone. We'll sit together, we'll sit and discuss. But sometimes some circus is happening with the children, and you need to deal the matter at that moment in front of the children. So that time, a lot of arguments start happening. So till the time discussion was possible, I used to do that. But then there came a situation where agreement was not happening, and because I'm a homemaker, I took the luxury to tell my husband that okay, this is my area. Let me, politely I told him, this is my area, have faith, and let me do it my way for some time. Then we'll discuss again, maybe after 6 months. If there will be, something that you're not aligned with it, then we can again discuss and find some other way. Now I'm asking 2 questions, Mataji. One question is in my area only, which is this a right approach? Am I excluding my husband from, this amazing experience of parenting? And number 2, the same scenario is one of my friends, she's dealing exactly with the same situation. In their case, my friend, she's working. Now, when she tells the same statement to her husband, because her husband has always been present, even he has changed the nappies. So, always present, and both of them are playing the same role. So, she does not have a luxury to say, this is my area, let me deal. So, how she can deal with it, your answer is really going to help her.
Yeah, so one thing that is sacrosanct is no fights in front of children. Even if it is a wrong parenting style that you have to submit to, it's okay. We'll correct it later on by discussing between the two of us. But in front of the children, no fights. Fights create a lot of psychological damages to child. So one is psychological damage, two is emotional disconnect. The child disconnects from both of them. So and the distance is created. Therefore, absolutely no fights in front of child, even if it is wrong way. What the child learns is sometimes Papa agrees to Mommy and sometimes Mommy agrees to Papa. That is a valuable lesson later in life, right? He or she has to also agree to his wife or to her husband. Yeah, they need to strike harmony between the two of them. So these are long life lessons that we are teaching in our Grahastha Dharma. We teach children how they can deal with their partners in their lives later on. So keeping all this in mind, so no fight is the best situation. Parenting can always be corrected. Yeah, some small thing here and there can always be corrected, but this cannot be corrected. The psychological impact that fights have, especially when it is in front of children. They feel the vibes even if it is not in front of them. They feel the vibes. But when it is right in front of them, they disconnect from both the parents. Aloofness comes in. So it has to be a balance between the parents. Sometimes we agree, sometimes they agree. Sometimes when a huge blunder the other person is making, then can we take the other person to the side if it's our husband to the side and try to explain? But that is he probably is in the thick of things at that moment and not willing to listen to some yarn that we are trying to give. So then we allow that to happen. And sometimes being quiet is the best action that we can do in the interest of the child.
Sorry, in the other case where lot of clashes are happening and both the parents are working.
So I said the principle is no clashes in front of the child. So and have your agreements, arguments outside, and come to as adults we need to have healthy dialogues instead of clashes. So can I change the situation into a dialogue? Can I become the more responsible parent? If I feel I am the more responsible parent, can I change this argument into a dialogue by calming myself down and talking it out?
You said about no media exposure. Completely agree with that.
Mataji, 6 to 16. I'm very.
Now I will also go next year my daughter becomes 6. So no, now at home we are completely media free. But when we are going out, because we have to accommodate other things, we are trying to. But at home we don't have any. Of course, phones we use. We don't use anything. But what I'm asking is, the TV is still there. But do you think that this we have to expose them after maybe not at 6, maybe little later at 8 or 9? We have to expose them to the TV and things like that. Or like we say, completely we go off TV and like
The longer there is no media exposure, the better it is. I can't hear you. Can you speak up?
First of all, thanks to organizing this secret, and there were several questions from everybody that would have helped others also. But I had another situation that I wanted to ask. This may not be necessarily about parenting towards kids. Like we have our elderlies at home or we have our siblings at home who are dependent on us. In that case, they cannot the only parent to our kids. So we really want to kind of put them into certain directions, certainly like on the spiritual path. But if the others in the family are pampering them, right? So for example, I would really buy a digital watch for my kid, but he has already been told to like his uncles and aunts, and he gets three of them. So such things are happening in my case, and I'm not able to then control in a situation. And so it happens that like I'm the bad person, and the rest of them, like the Masis or the Nana Nannies, are the ones who are more loving to the kid. And like it becomes an uncontrolled situation. I want to respect them. They're also very like good devotees, offering prayers and everything very systematically. But on the other side,
Yeah,
on the
I got you. I got you. So, yeah. So one thing that we have to have build a culture of dialogue between adults. So whoever is in the influence area of the child, I think all of us need to get together and have a dialogue. So so dialogues necessarily does not need to be arguments or instructions. So it has to be it has you have to broach this topic very carefully and slowly. But there is a pattern that I see in our family that I restrict many things, but many others are giving the child so many things. Can we have an agreement of at least reducing? So I think when we have dialogues, things work out. Yes.
So my question is that my son is just entering teenager age. So I want to understand like how can I help the dialogue to happen between me and my son so that he should not be hiding something or maybe like this stage goes through a lot of hormone changes.
Yes.
So I'm not very sure how to initiate those dialogues or is he facing some problem or something. I've not seen anything as of now, but I'm still skeptical in the future how
So there seems to be some slurry of activities. Is it time for something? Come on. So yes, we'll. There is one last sayam that I wanted to tell is that of Samay Sayam. Samay Sayam means how is the child spending his or her time. So when a child becomes a teenager, the child wants to spend some time all by himself or herself, more time by himself. This is very natural. Yeah. And there is a certain disassociation from the parents. Yeah. Suddenly, the child who was so far revealing everything to us becomes withdrawn, has probably some secretive life, yeah, more secrets, and does not tell us everything. So the parents are uncomfortable in this situation. Parents are uncomfortable because they so far I have controlled my child. I know each and every thought of my child. I know my child. Now I feel that I don't know my child. My child is turning out to be somebody else. So these are our doubts. But the child is just emerging as an independent entity. Yeah. So when this independence he or she is experiencing, the child will execute it. Will want some time by himself, herself. Yeah. So we must be comfortable with that. Of course, there are some red flags. Red flags are um, does the child have friends, good friends? Is the child interacting nicely with his friends? Then everything is okay, normal. But the child has lost all the friends, does not have any friends, red flag. Yeah? Then we have a dialogue. what happened? What happened to that child? He does not come now. So we try to find out if everything is well. Yeah, and then second is too much alienation. Yeah, shutting, locking up oneself and getting inside cell phones for a very long time. Is there addiction? Yeah, is there addiction? Then we need to have a dialogue. How it is not healthy. Give some statistics. Put the child up to some expert who knows how to talk to the child, because there is a way to talk to teenagers. Now they no longer want instructions. They want to be understood. They want somebody to talk logically to them, and they don't want somebody to nag them. Yeah, these are some of the things that they also start expecting from parents. So we need to provide them that space. We need to understand them really and very genuinely, and we need to provide an open space to hearing them. So it does not mean that we can tell them that I'm always there for you if you have any trouble. Yeah. So whatever it is, you can openly come and share it with me anytime. Okay, and I will, you can be rest assured that I will understand you. If we give this reassurance, the child will come and tell us. But if the child feels that there is a whole lot of expectations, that मुझे संत आत्मा बनना है, उससे कम नहीं चाहिए मेरे पेरेंट्स को, then the child won't tell us. Yeah. So when the child progresses to becoming a teenager, there are many hormones which are activated inside the body, and the child is finding it difficult to deal with himself. Does he deal with himself? So there has to be some counselor or a friend who is slightly elder, maybe an older bhaiya, who is who is who is who has the viveka to what to talk to that child, what not to talk. Maybe somebody senior like that. Then whenever, and that person has to be an open person to listen to this child, everything that the child is experiencing, and open up. So they start opening up to only people who respect them, who respect and understand them. Otherwise, they won't open up. So if we are able to be in that role of being a very open person, not judgmental, that's what they're looking for. So if we are not judgmental, they will come and share with us. Otherwise, they won't. The last thing they want is to be branded, yeah, as a bad child, as somebody XYZ. So being non-judgmental helps deal with adolescents.
One more question about teenagers.
One more thing I wanted to share is about the brain. Yeah, around adolescence, the brain, in the 6 to 16, the brain is developing. Yeah, and at 12, the brain starts becoming solid. Till now, the brain is very fluid, semi solid. I could say semi solid. It's getting formed, and from 12 the brain starts becoming the cortex, the frontal cortex becomes more prominent. Yeah, the shape of the brain changes. So frontal means now thinking abilities go up, emotional connect starts becoming more prominent. The child is able to recognize different kinds of emotions, complex emotions in others, and synthesize all such information. So all this starts happening, and then some of the unused neural pathways disappear. Yeah, the weak neural pathways are eliminated, and the ones that have been used so far become strengthened. So which means that the behavior patterns also strengthen, solidify. So the child who has been used to, yeah, some divine way, that also becomes strong. Yeah, if the child has temper tantrums, that becomes strong. So anything that the child has followed so far as behavior patterns, they strengthen. Okay, because the brain has now is now getting solidified, is taking shape. So therefore, when the brain is fluid, there is so much more that we can do with the child. So discipline is one. Then expanding brain capacities by Karana, memorizations, and all these things are very valuable tools, available to us, so that the brain capacities are built. And later on, when it is time for us to utilize those capacities, the child is able to do that. Viveka Shakti dawns. If we've been consistent, we've role modeled in front of them, then the child becomes a Vivekavan, which means that now onwards we can trust the child with freedom. Yeah, that the child will go anywhere and come back unheard, will not go get into trouble, will behave properly. Yeah, so we can be assured of when the child is Vivekvan. So we need to ensure that the child gets that right Viveka Shakti. So this from 0 to 16 is the time when we invest in modeling, role modeling, in disciplining, in giving it good rhythms, in being consistent, in being having a loving atmosphere at home. Yeah, between the husband and wife, the child is observing very keenly how are my parents dealing with each other. And later on, you'll be surprised to know that the child says, "I don't want to get married." Why? You fought all your life. What joy is there in getting married? So all these things we want to model. Yeah, we are their role models. So if we have done it right, then the child is equipped for life. So any more teenage questions? Yeah, in 5 minutes, I think we'll close the session.
My kid, I'm facing difficulty to handle some question. And she heard from my side word
How? What was the age?
about 11.
11.
So, like some kind of adultery, they heard some words and she wanted to do an explanation. So, sometimes I'm facing difficult because the age wise, I'm not able to give answer. And how I supposed to modify or manipulate, I'm not sure the exact words. But sometimes it's very difficult because I see
If the child, if it's a girl child or a boy child, if maturity has come in, physical maturity, then we can share many things with them. Yeah, it's better that they have the right information.
So right now, when she was 9, I have offered one book for related to video and make her understand because the time is about to come. But now, the other people talking some energy thing. So how could I manage in this age? How to convey the correct information? Even I make her understand that she is better person to tell any information in a better way as per classmates.
So sometimes we can tell the child that this is not the age for you to discuss all these things. Yeah? So when you turn 13, I will tell you all these things. So now you focus on your studies, focus on whatever you have
As
to
you
do.
mentioned the curiosity.
So you can shut it. Yeah, if it is not the right age, we can shut it also. So we need to know when to give what kind of information, age appropriate.
Mataji, as they get into adolescence, we start becoming a little more reserved. They start keeping to themselves. The friends group becomes more important. As parents, should we be monitoring the peer group, seeing what kind of friends they have? And if you can give us some tips on what we should look out for, what could be red flags? Like, I have so many questions that is it better to have like many friends or one best friend is good? Or if her friends are of a certain type coming from some family background, I know the parents, should I tell her not to be friends with that person or not? Like, how much should we interfere versus not, and what should we keep an eye out for?
Yeah. So I don't think we should interfere because friendship is a matter of heart. Yeah, and heart is, you cannot tell the heart not to talk to somebody because it vibrates with that person, right? And you have a deep connect, a heart connect with that person. So friendships develop over a period of time. And if we interfere and tell them that this is not a nice person, I don't think we should do that. Instead, we can educate our child about what to do, what are harmful things. Like drugs are harmful, yeah. Like alcohol is harmful. Yeah? And if somebody offers you these things, you have the right to refuse it. We can equip the child with these set of things that how, because the child does not know if I can say no. Because under peer pressure, like cigarettes are no. They're a big health risk, and you can take the child to a medical college and show the child what damages it happens to. Like we take our children and show them the blackened lungs, yeah? And then we tell them, that this is what the cigarette has done to this person. So, what are the serious no's? You educate the child about that because that's your role. About friendships, some friendships will happen, some friends will come, go, all these things. Still, the child settles with some firm friendships. So far, some experimentation will go on for some time. I don't think we should be much bothered unless the behavior turns risky. When it is risky, then we have to interfere.
Mataji, if we already can see that there is a child in class, maybe not very good friends, but there is somebody who is troubled, just like showing, very weird behavior, like, maybe suicidal kind of thoughts and all, that the other child is like that. Is it okay to share your thoughts with the child saying that I am seeing this? Like I was reading some essays of my child's
How old is
class.
the child?
This child was,
No, your child?
she's 10 now, but this is something which I observed in, like, when they were, like, parents were called to read essays. And there was one child who would keep writing about, like, very dark,
I
fiction.
think you must
Very dark
highlight this
fiction.
to the school and
Mataji, the teachers are reading that. I found her writing so dark. So I just told my child that this is what I feel. So you take a call, but I don't
a
think
10-year-old
right.
will not be able to process it, when it's dark, or when a 10-year-old may not be able to, the child might think that it's fantasy. Yeah, so it may not be able to process it in the manner that you want it to process it. So you must allow some time, and you can keep an eye on the developing friendship with this person.
So it's better not to impose our
Yes.
thoughts. So we should share, like, if it was a friend, let's say, we would discuss. Like with my husband, probably I would discuss that, I'm finding this really weird about why this child is writing like this. So it's not okay to discuss
Yeah, it's,
with
it's
children.
not okay to discuss with child. It's too young, way too young to know what suicide is and what is.
Not to that in those words, but like, very weird, very sad stories always that, I'm a lonely child.
Let the child share. Let the child share what she feels.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't share.
Okay.
Yeah. You can speak louder.
Okay, one last question.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This question is regarding Radha. Can I ask? So you have mentioned that wherein we fall for a soul, so it combines the karmic impressions of 14 generations of the husband and 5 generations of the wife. So it could be a good karma impression and a bad karma impression, right? So can we do something about it, like through our devotion service, like with sincerity? Can we do something about it?
Yes, definitely. So during Garbhadan, whatever prayers you do have a big impact on the kind of soul that you attract. So, prayerful, meditative process of Garbhadan will definitely bring you. You can write down the specific qualities that you have you want in the child, and submit it to the Lord every day throughout your Vrata period, and tell Krishna that you want these qualities in your child, and be prayerful about it, and do some vrata or tapa to so that till the time that Garbhadan you will happen, till such time a period of vrata has to be there.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful, very scientifically explained parenting. So it is so enlightening for all of us. I was thinking for some of us, maybe we can't do much about what has gone, but I was thinking we still have a role to play in educating our daughters and our sons about all this. We didn't know a lot of this before we conceived and all that. So it is so wonderful you
So
give us.
I just want to interrupt you here. So since I'm a teacher, I love to give homework. Homework to you is to spot that one quality of yours that you want to change, yeah, in your parenting style. Identify that and implement that. Okay, that will be the reward for me.
Very good. That's a wonderful homework.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we are seeing the kids, they are doing differently with the boy, girls, they are very much friendly with each other. And this is leading to the gay culture. How can we deal these kind of friendships?
So there's a very strong counterculture which is imposing on our Indian culture, and this is strongly come from the West, and this is not our culture at all. So how do we? But the children are exposed because of media, because of global media platforms that are available to us. Children are exposed to OTT platforms. Netflix has 95% woke content. They have LGBTQ content. 85% of the movies have that content. So if you forget, unplug, and if children are discussing with such, because you don't know who are the friends and what kind of impressions they are carrying, it's very, very difficult. So choose homogeneity, choose such schools, neighborhood where you feel they are more safer. Make those choices. It's all about your choices, yeah, where you live, which school the child goes. Just say no to international schools. Choose really down to earth schools. Even government school will do. Yeah, because there are much more saner children there who may not be, Hottepadu, which means that some of the families are just concerned about where will food come from tomorrow. Yeah? Our children may not have such simple values, but they will learn a thing or two from schools. Yeah? Um, Scale down. I would say scale down your limitation. I mean expectation from schools. Yeah, if the child is in an international school, put it in a regular school. If the child is going to regular school, put it in a government school. I would recommend that. Yeah. So I don't know how much heart you'll have, but then the child will have simple, grounded values. Yeah. Try to move in a more homogeneous atmosphere. If you can all get together, start a homeschooling network, or we could help you start a school. That is a possibility. There are about 50 people from all over the world who are coming to Vidya Kshetra and getting trained to start schools. So our vision is to start 108 such gurukulas, that like how we are running at Vidya Kshetra. It's a 10-year-old school, and we've been teachers and we've been educators for the last 15 years, and we've been with children, and we know what is the trend, where it is going. And more, we are in the process of losing our sons and daughters. This is, the harsh truth that, I'm telling you, unless we make those moves very quickly, very swiftly in the interest of our child. We lose them to wokeism. We lose them to woke means what? You need to educate yourself. You can't be Kupa Mandukas. Yeah? You need to know what is LGBT. You need to know what are all these movements and how they are grooming our children. How they are grooming in form of books. Their Sapna Book House. You may think that that's a very nice book house, but Sapna Book House has all LGBTQ stuff there, books. So what are our children reading? What are our children watching? Be an aware parent. Don't that in Ghaziabad very recently, you know that case, right? So the parents were clueless what the girls were doing. They're getting into K series, yeah? Korean series. Why should our children watch Korean movies or play Korean games? That's not our culture. So get into the more homogeneous we are, the safer we are. I would say that homogeneity is the way forward. So try to you are so many of you, not just one or two. Can't you get your children together? When I asked 6 to 16, I saw at least 25 hands go up. So can't you have a school for your children? You can have a school for your Mataji, Haribol Mataji has to take the lead. So I can see a leader in her. She can take the lead. So you have, I'm sure you have talented Matajis here, and whatever you can contribute. You can cook food. You can teach English. You can teach science. Get your children and teach them. Start this culture. Otherwise, we are fast losing our children. Prabhupada won't come to save them because they will push them in that direction. I mean, not be willingly, but the whole Kali Yuga, it's pushing them, it's going forward in that direction.
Thank you, Mataji. What a wonderful session. So interactive. All of us got that opportunity to ask so many questions, and it was so scientific and right from like before when the learning starts. It was so insightful and revealing to how we can continue that learning, how that needs to change with time. Thank you very, very much, Mataji. And we hope you can keep guiding us, Mataji. We are all learning, trying to be good parents.
It is our life mission to save our children, to give them a direction, to have an education model which, by 2066, we want that to be the mainstream education of India. So that broad is our vision. So every child is our child. We don't want to lose any child. So we are on a mission to save our children. So anything that helps you, yeah, we're more than willing to extend.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Let us all chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra once for Mataji's good health, spiritual welfare, and for her desires, this beautiful desire, this education conversation to us. Yes, this vision that she has, and she and Prabhuji, they have this beautiful vision of saving our children. May that be successful. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare.
Yes, and all the best to all of you in your own parenting and in your grihastha dharma. So I know these are challenging times, but I can see the glow in each one of your faces. You all are three shaktis there. Yeah. So it is descended from generations, and in our culture especially, we have that strength. In others' culture, we don't have that. They don't have that strength. But in our culture, we have that strength. The three has the Shakti. She's the more stronger one. Yeah. We may not show it out, but we are strong from the inside. So therefore, we are the ones who will unite the families, keep them together by sometimes speaking, by sometimes not speaking, and doing all that it takes to give our children a direction. So all the best, and may Krishna bless you. May Radharani be there, always guiding you, and may you always have Prabhupada's shelter.
Mantji, can we have a photo with you?
Yeah.
So I can sit here, we'll put the chair.
Amen.